Welcome to our deep dive into the hidden causes of war and fraud as outlined by the Universal Law Community Trust. Now, you might be thinking, war and fraud. Those are pretty big topics even for a Sunday, and you'd be right. But stick with us because what we're going to unpack today is the kind of stuff they don't teach you in school, unless your school has a very specific elective in, say, global conspiracies and how to spot them. Today, we'll uncover the intricate web of legal fictions, financial exploitation, and more that drive these global issues. We're talking about systems so deeply ingrained in our everyday lives that we barely even notice them, let alone question them. Systems that, frankly, benefit a select few at the expense of, well, everyone else. This isn't about donning tinfoil hats and disappearing down rabbit holes. This is about shining a light on the often overlooked mechanisms that shape our world and how understanding them can empower us to create a more just and equitable future. Buckle up, because things are about to get real. Let's start with something most of us probably consider about as exciting as a tax audit birth certificates. They seem innocuous enough, right? A piece of paper commemorating your grand entrance into the world, usually displayed alongside your most unfortunate baby photo. But here's the thing, my friends, that seemingly innocent document is your first step into a world of legal fiction. You see, when you're born, a legal entity is created. Your name, in all capital letters, representing you in the eyes of the law. This might sound like a harmless technicality, but it's the foundation for a system where individuals are unknowingly treated as corporations, as commodities. Think of it like this. Your birth certificate is like the title deed to a car, the car being you, and that title deed doesn't actually belong to you, but rather to the state. Now, you might be thinking, so what? I'm not out here driving myself into ditches. What's the big deal? Well, this legal fiction, this straw man, as it's often called, allows for individuals to be used in commercial transactions without their knowledge or consent. It's like someone took out a loan in your name, using your house as collateral, and you only found out about it when the bank came knocking, demanding repayment. Except in this case, the loan is the national debt, the house is your future, labor and potential, and the bank is, well, it's complicated, but let's just say it involves a lot of people in suits who benefit from keeping this system shrouded in legalese and obfuscation. This isn't about some grand conspiracy, though. It's about a system that's been in place for centuries, evolving over time, and we're just starting to scratch the surface of its implications. The point is, this legal fiction, this separation between you and your capitalized name, is the bedrock upon which much of our current system is built. So we've established that you, my friend, are a corporation. Congratulations, but what does that even mean in a practical sense? Buckle up, because it's time to talk about the wonderful world of finance, where your existence as a corporate entity is traded like a commodity. Remember that whole straw man thing? Well, that corporate version of you, existing solely on paper, is used as collateral in a global financial system built on debt. It's like being born into a lifelong game of Monopoly where you never get to choose your own properties and the bank always collects. Every time you engage in commerce, sign a contract, or even interact with government institutions, you're essentially participating in this system. Your birth certificate, social security number, driver's license, they all become tools to link you, the flesh and blood human, to your corporate entity, which is then used to generate profit for, well, someone else. This is where things like the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and the Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, come into play. These institutions, while ostensibly designed to regulate commerce and prevent fraud, also serve to perpetuate this system of debt-based economics. Think of it like this. The SEC is like the referee in a rigged boxing match. They might enforce some rules, but they're ultimately there to ensure the fight goes on regardless of who's really winning or losing. And the UCC? It's the rule book written in dense, impenetrable language that only a select few truly understand, ensuring that the game stays tilted in favor of those who wrote the rules in the first place. Now, before you go full Tyler Durden and start making soap in your basement, remember, knowledge is power. By understanding the mechanics of this system, we can start to see how it influences our lives and make more informed choices. Let's talk about contracts. You know, those things we sign without reading, usually when we're in a hurry or desperate for public Wi-Fi. Those seemingly innocuous agreements have a nasty habit of coming back to bite us, and it all circles back to that pesky legal fiction we talked about earlier. Remember, in the eyes of the law, you exist as two separate entities, the living, breathing human and the corporate straw man represented by your name in all caps. And here's the kicker: contracts formed under that capitalized name, that corporate entity, are inherently flawed. Why? Because that entity, that straw man, can't actually consent to anything. It's like trying to get a signature from a fictional character. It's meaningless. And yet, this is the basis for countless contracts we enter into every day, from mortgages and credit card agreements to employment contracts and insurance policies. This lack of informed consent is a form of fraud, plain and simple. It's a system designed to benefit corporations and institutions while leaving individuals vulnerable and exploited. Think about it. When was the last time you read every word of a user agreement online or fully understood the implications of signing a mortgage document? We're conditioned to blindly trust these systems, to believe that someone, somewhere, is looking out for our best interests. But the reality is far more complex and frankly concerning. This isn't about advocating for some lawless society where contracts hold no weight. It's about recognizing the inherent flaws in a system that prioritizes corporate interests over individual rights and understanding how to navigate that system more effectively. Chapter 4. Kindness Credits. Because money shouldn't grow on trees, but maybe good deeds should. So far, we've painted a pretty bleak picture, haven't we? A world of legal fictions, debt-based slavery, and contracts designed to exploit. But it doesn't have to be this way. What if there was a different way to structure our interactions, our communities, our entire society? Enter kindness credits. No, it's not some hippy-dippy commune currency, though. I am sure there's a commune out there that would be very interested in this concept. Kindness credits are a revolutionary idea that shifts the focus from individual gain to collective well-being. Imagine a system where acts of service, compassion, and community support are valued and rewarded. Instead of accumulating wealth, we accumulate credits by contributing to the greater good. Mow your elderly neighbor's lawn, that's a few kindness credits. Help organize a community garden. Rack up those credits. These credits wouldn't be some abstract digital currency controlled by faceless corporations. They'd be tangible representations of the value we create through our actions, fostering a culture of cooperation and mutual support. Think about it. A world where helping others isn't just a moral obligation, but a tangible investment in a better future. It might sound idealistic, but isn't that the point of progress, to strive for a better tomorrow? Kindness credits aren't just about changing our monetary system, they're about changing our mindset. It's about recognizing the inherent interconnectedness of humanity and building a world where we all have a stake in each other's well-being. Chapter 5. The moral of the story, it's about trust. Baby. So, we've covered a lot of ground here, from birth certificates and corporate personhood to debt-based economics and the potential of kindness credits. But what's the underlying message, the thread that ties all of this together? In a word, trust, or more accurately, the lack thereof. The systems we've discussed, the ones that perpetuate war and fraud, thrive in an environment of distrust. Distrust in our governments, in our financial institutions, in the very fabric of our society. Think about it. Wars are often justified based on fear and mistrust of other nations. Fraudulent activities rely on exploiting people's trust for personal gain. Our entire legal and financial systems are built on a foundation of contracts and agreements, all because we don't inherently trust each other to act in good faith. The Universal Law Community Trust believes that true peace and prosperity can only be achieved by restoring trust as the foundation of our interactions. This starts by acknowledging the inherent rights and sovereignty of every individual, regardless of their station in life. It means rejecting systems that seek to divide, control, and exploit, and embracing those that promote transparency, accountability, and cooperation. It means recognizing that we are all connected, and that our actions have ripple effects that extend far beyond our immediate sphere of influence. Chapter 6. Reclaiming our power knowledge is the key. The Universal Law Community Trust is dedicated to restoring the rule of law. not the distorted, corporate-influenced version we see today. We believe in a world where the law serves the people, not the other way around. And the key to achieving this vision is simple knowledge. By understanding the legal fictions, financial manipulations, and systemic injustices that plague our world, we can start to dismantle them. Knowledge is power, and by sharing this information, we empower individuals to reclaim their sovereignty and create a more just and equitable world. This isn't about overthrowing governments or abandoning all systems of order. It's about holding those in power accountable, demanding transparency, and participating in the creation of a better future. We believe that change happens from the ground up, one individual at a time. By educating ourselves and our communities, we can create a ripple effect of awareness that can transform our world. Chapter 7. History repeats itself unless we learn from it. Sadly, the issues we've discussed today aren't new. History is rife with examples of wars and conflicts fueled by the very factors we've outlined. Let's take a look at a few examples, shall we? The American Civil War, while often framed as a battle over slavery, was also deeply rooted in economic disparities and disputes over states' rights versus federal power. Sound familiar? It's the same struggle between individual liberty and centralized control that we grapple with today. Then there's World War I, a tangled web of alliances, economic interests, and nationalist fervor that plunged the world into chaos. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand might have been the spark, but the tinder had been laid long before by a system that prioritized profit and power over peace. And let's not forget the more recent conflicts like the Iraq War, justified on the basis of faulty intelligence and a manufactured threat. These wars, fueled by misinformation and a thirst for control, highlight the dangers of unchecked power and the importance of critical thinking in the face of propaganda. These are just a few examples of how the principles we've discussed have played out on the world stage. By understanding the historical context, we can better recognize the patterns and avoid repeating the mistakes of the past. The time for change is now. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the hidden causes of war and fraud. We know it's a lot to process, and frankly, it's enough to make you want to crawl back into bed and pull the covers over your head. But ignorance is not bliss, my friends. It's just, well, ignorance. For more in-depth information, visit the Universal Law Community Trust website. We've got articles, videos, and resources to help you navigate this complex landscape and reclaim your power. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content, because the more people who understand these issues, the better equipped we are to create a world where peace and justice prevail.